Let's talk about from episode 5 of season 4, where we pretty much have gotten a ton of revelations, but at the same time, we're still not all the way there with the answer. So I'm going to be covering from now on a weekly basis and, of course, having theories. We just got a trailer for episode 6, and it looks like things are really heating up now, and I'm very, very excited to dive into it. So, of course, like I said in my previous video for the Man in Yellow, that was like my introduction into the YouTube world. I've been watching From now for the past month. I have caught up to the current season, and I'm ecstatic. So if you love From and you want to see me cover it, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to talk theories, we're going to talk episode breakdowns, and then when we have that year-long gap, we'll still keep putting out some theories so we keep the conversation, keep the excitement going for From. So this latest episode, we saw that Donna, Tabitha, as well as Ellis and Ethan went out to the settlement to get some nutrients, right? And they eventually came across something in the lake. Now, when I first saw them coming across this in the lake in episode 4, I said, they're about to find a monster in there. Well, maybe they did, right? So basically what they find is these stuffed dolls that Donna kind of says, these kind of remind me of scarecrows. So if somebody put these in there must be something out here in the lake that they are scared of that's deep down, and that's what's keeping it at bay. Little did Donna know that, yeah, you were a lot closer to that thing they were trying to keep away. Because later on in the night, we see that the scarecrows come to life and they start to attack and eventually kill Roger, which was just one of the unsuspecting people. And then they burn the face of another woman here, and they are just terrorizing the whole group. Now, Tabitha earlier on had a vision of sorts of having seen these dolls before, but when they were small, and a man had been scared of them, so he threw them into the lake. Then when that man died, these dolls eventually came to life and terrorized people, right? So what seems to be happening here is maybe people from the past that have been stuck in Frumsville realized what these things were and tied them up, and that's why they drowned them out into the lake, but them eventually pulling them back out caused them to come back to life. Tabitha, however, and the rest are able to get a hold and kill these dolls for now, but it seems that there are some more terrors to add to the list already from all of the things that have been happening here, from those monsters at night to music boxes, the cicadas, and now we have the Man in Yellow in town. Let's talk about the Man in Yellow this episode, who of course is taking the form of Sophia, and up until this point I'm just like, how do people not realize that Sophia's just up to no good, right? Just giving those weird looks and comments every now and then, and I'm just like, bro, Sophia is going to get them all, because we see that she is trying to pit the whole town against one another, right? We see this happening between Kirsty and also Mary L. As they are tending to Sophia's broken arm that she suffered in the last episode, we see that things are starting to sort of get to Mary L about what happened to her, Randall, and Julie when they were shackled and nobody knew what was going on with them. She starts to have these like memories be brought back to her. Sophia is a culprit in this because whenever Sophia touches her, that's when she eventually starts to go back to that place. So it's causing a big sort of rift between Kirsty and Mary L, because of course Kirsty doesn't know how to treat this. Mary L says that Kirsty will never understand because she wasn't there. We also have Julie and Randall now arguing with one another because Randall thinks it's pretty dangerous for Miss Julie to be story walking and getting these seizures. Maybe one day she won't come out of it, but Julie is so determined to help her father and all of this that she's just like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, can't stop me, which is music to Sophia's ears because the Man in Yellow is here to cause division. I think the Man in Yellow relishes in them having this fear and anger between each other because he knows they're close to tearing each other apart, which the Man in Yellow said at the beginning of the season was what he wanted to do next. Of course, Victor knows the Man in Yellow. He remembers that the Man in Yellow was there when everybody tore each other to pieces, and he also witnessed the Man in Yellow eat his own mother, which has caused a big sort of rift between Victor and his father. And I want to say these two actors are incredible. Every time they're on screen, they always bring some tears to my face because it's just so well executed, honestly. Incredible job. So in this episode, we saw that Henry has gone back to the bottle because of this, because he saw the picture that Victor drew of his mother being eaten by the Man in Yellow and couldn't really come to terms with it. He can't handle it. And I'm just like, bro, Victor's been here handling it for 40 years and you're over here already crumbling in front of him. But you know, I don't blame him. He lost his family. He's come back to a world where his son is alive, who he presumed to be dead alongside his wife and also his other child, and now he's trying to adapt to it. It can be a lot, you know. Sometimes I get mad at these characters. I gotta remember what they're dealing with as well. So I do feel bad for Henry as well, but I really feel for Victor right now because he's just trying to survive, but at the same time also trying to remember. He just doesn't want the same fate he saw many years ago to happen to these new people. So it's a lot for Victor, and I understand. So we see that Henry is crumbling, and of course music to Sophia's ears once again. The man in yellow is relishing in these relationships falling apart and eventually having the chance to devour everybody, which is pretty close, it seems, because the town seems to just be this like powder keg of sorts that's just waiting to blow. And the newest trailer showcases that things are about to get bad because it seems that somebody is going to die in the next episode. And my bets here are on Donna. It seems that this season has set up Donna to be the next one to go. A lot of people are seemingly showing the respect they feel for Donna. They're showing the admiration and all of this. And Boyd looks to be very disturbed at who he is giving like CPR, heart to heart of sorts. And it feels like Donna is like the closest one. And it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad, but we'll see what happens in the next episode. But I think the crown jewel of this episode definitely was Jade going on his mushroom trip, where he eventually comes across his 12-year-old self, as well as the many different past lives he has lived here in Frumsville, and how all of them have pretty much not succeeded at freeing the children. They all played the violin, and it seems they all meet the same terrible fate, but it's not by any of the monsters around here. It is actually by the townspeople themselves who are going to turn on Jade and also Tabitha at some point. And it seems that Jade is sort of like trying to prevent this from happening. So he's on a time crunch here. We do see that Jade finds that there is a hidden door in Colony House that takes him to where he could possibly find the answers as to how to get out of here, because the only way out is by saving the children. And we do know that the townspeople before here, who are the monsters, actually sacrificed these children, their own children, in exchange for immortality that probably came from the man in yellow, who's just using all of these very horrible emotions to continue to fuel himself. A very ancient evil indeed. So we are left here with Jade waking from his trip to tell Boyd that he has the answers and he's going to get them home. We'll see how that goes as he does venture into that door in the next episode. So I thought this episode did a great job at sort of getting the idea that the man in yellow is going to be somebody who's just impossible, in my opinion, to defeat. They don't even know the man in yellow is walking amongst them and causing all of this chaos. He has these hidden abilities. I think maybe Sarah might be somebody who's able to uncover it. Could it be Sarah that's dying? Maybe she realizes who the man in yellow is, that it's Sophia, and eventually is trying to tell everybody, but the man in yellow stops Sarah from doing this by literally making her stop and killing her. That's a big theory, but I also am leaning more towards Donna because, as we know, with knowledge, sacrifices come. Maybe Jade discovers something in Colony House that's going to get them that much closer, and this pisses off the man in yellow. And who would be the person to die and suffer because of what was discovered in Colony House? None other than the leader, Donna herself, and it's something that I think would happen in the next episode. But I was very curious about the Scarecrow. Tabitha's connection to these things makes me wonder just how crucial she might be to all of this. Like, I need some background on these things because Tabitha's nightmares becoming the nightmares for everybody and all of that is just interesting. And, you know, I need answers. I need answers now, but we'll talk more about that in our theory video for the next episode with the trailer breakdown, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably release that on Wednesday. Super excited to get into that as well. So what exactly does Jade have to do here? Well, from the ending of this episode and the visions that Jade had, it seems that he has to find the children first and foremost. The children keep saying Ankui, which of course they're saying means remember. I think that they have to make the townspeople, well, like the monster people, remember what they did to the children. I think that atonement, that guilt, and all of that will eventually break whatever bind the man in yellow has. If he's indeed like the main culprit, I have talked about and seen people say that maybe he is the first person that ever did this. Maybe he is the one who told the other townspeople about this like ritual you can do. And his son is the boy in white. And that was the first sacrifice ever. So now he's sort of like the ringleader of sorts for everybody here. But he's not really the one in charge. Maybe it's something more evil that we don't know just yet what that could be. And I feel like the man yellow could definitely become just the villain of season 4, but there's an overall villain that they're going to meet in season 5, this supernatural force of sorts that is what's driving everything in this like Frumsville, right? And the man in yellow is simply just a puppet for this bigger entity of sorts, but I think it starts with having them remember what they did, maybe get the man in yellow in front of the boy in white, and then we can start talking about how to get out of here. Maybe that's the secret. You get these people to remember the horrible acts that they committed and have them be absolved from it, and then that breaks the curse, whatever that might be. I don't know. That's what I think Jade's trying to do here, because seeing the children in the coffin with him and seeing the townspeople, maybe that made him think they don't ever come face to face with the children. Maybe they're trying to hide the secrets of what they did by burying Jade and the child under there with them. And that's the big way to get out of here. You have them come face to face. You make these monsters remember what they did, and that breaks everything. That's what I think Jade is trying to do, so we'll see. And the big question is, why would the townspeople ever turn on Jade and Tabitha? Well, I think that's going to have something to do with the fact that maybe they have to do something that sounds so crazy to the townspeople that they don't want to like try and do it with them and feel like Tabitha and Jade are just trying to get them killed. So what if they find these monsters at night and they all go out there and they call the children to come out, but it has to be all the townspeople out there putting their lives at risk, but that's the only way to get the children to come out at night, for the children to maybe feel safe from their parents that sort of like sacrificed them, and thus then they come out and are able to come face to face with them. Maybe that's why the townspeople get mad, because Tabitha and Jade are going to come up with this plan, and they might think they're just crazy and are trying to get us killed, you know? That's what I think. We'll see. But we talk about other stuff here. Like, we just have our Obsession video out right now, as well as seeing Passenger this week. Backrooms coming up. A ton of movies this summer, so don't miss out on any of that, as well as talking about From and some other TV shows that you might be interested in. Keep it here at Culture Elixir. I'll see all of you next time. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this episode. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. The scarecrows, always love the supernatural vibe it has with these like other monsters that come and go. Kind of keeps it a little bit fresher as well. Not to say that From is getting stale, but it adds a little pizzazz, if you know what I mean. So very excited to see what comes in the final like 4 episodes, and I cannot wait. As always, that is going to do it for me. Hit the subscribe notification bell. 50,000 subscribers is our goal. Let's get to it. Stay safe, stay positive.